Hello, everyone. Here we are again. My name is Adele Bernard from Transition Clarity, and we're going to have another authentic conversation. Today, my guest is Kat, and she is an amazing person, a young entrepreneur, um, and more importantly, just a great person. So I'm going to give you a little introduction. So Kat has a background in digital marketing and membership management, complemented by her deep understanding in health and wellness, travel, mindfulness, and emotional intelligence. After discovering Goldendrops, a groundbreaking formula, she transformed her career, leaving the corporate world to become the youngest regional founder in Australia and New Zealand in under 12 months. She continues to pursue her passion helping others with the innovative solution of inflammation disrupting the wellness industry. But more importantly, why I wanted Kat on the show is she's able to tap into the psychic and healing abilities on her claircognizant path as an empath, as a person who's listening to her inner guidance. And as you guys know, transition clarity is all about looking into your inner guidance and following your path within, finding your source, your God essence within you. And we've had these conversations, right? Of, you know, opening up to your path. And are you supposed to live in one place? Are you supposed to move around? Like, what is your path to be? So, um, yeah, this is going to be an interesting conversation. And I look forward to having her on the show. And here she is. Welcome to the show, Kat. Let's have an authentic conversation.
Thanks for having me, Adele.
So, we've been talking, and I'm just going to say to the audience like, we're all about following the path, right? It's not my path, it's not your path, it's our authentic path to us. So, give us a little background of you and how did Kat come to here, like where you are in your life today.
So I feel like this question is a good one because now I'm thinking of others in that seat, and it would be like so many lessons and moments. But what I find is that with anyone's path and with my path, it's always been these little moments where things change and it takes you to a different door and a different path. But
Mm-hmm.
it actually all starts with the small moments where it could be like a aha moment.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was to go all the way back, um, since a young age, I didn't realize what intuition was. I had no idea in my early 20s. I remember reading a book about it back then, but I had it there and I just didn't realize. So if I go back when I was 17, I was like, "Yep, I'm going to move to Melbourne." Didn't have that Melbourne, Australia. I didn't have like the how, and I didn't really visit Melbourne before then, but I just knew that's where I'm going. And I did that and had to finish uni and then get a job. And then the opportunity came where a friend said, "Hey, let's go to Melbourne." And so I moved, and that took about 5 years before that change actually happened. But I had always had it in my mind. And what I've always done is I've always been ambitious. So I've always had goals, and I'd set out some goals and I would always achieve them. And then once I've achieved those goals, new goals will arrive in my life. And in the last 10 years, I've been interested in health and wellness because in my 20s, I thought about, well, I'm not going to be in my 20s anymore. What's longevity look like? So I was always researching into things of how to be better, whether it's in mindset, what you're eating, and what you're listening to. And so I had all these different things that had happened. And when I talk to you about little moments,
Mm-hmm.
I found a random book about superfoods before superfoods was a thing. And that set me off into that path of learning about all these superfoods. And then that trend came probably about 2 years later to Australia. And what I find is that I've always gravitated towards things that are not that are new and that things aren't really there. So in terms of my corporate background in marketing, I've always been drawn into things that are completely new, whether it's a new role or you need to rebuild something or new structures. And so I've always been comfortable in the uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started tapping into law of attraction and manifesting to the point where I feel like I'm pretty good at it. And if I was to explain it in simple terms, it's really you feel what it is that you intend to have in your life. And so the life I'm living right now is the one I manifested back in January. And if I was to think about my goals last year, I wrote my goals at the start of the year of 2023. I looked back at it and I pretty much ticked everything off without realizing what they were. So there's power behind the words you use, and there's power behind writing it down and feeling that you already achieved that or you already are that. And for everybody, it's different things that they intend to have in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing I've been practicing is the words that I use. I am very careful with the words that I use and the words that I speak. And another element to me is untapping the ability of, it's called gift of knowing, and being able to tap into that and then share wisdom to others that it's not me, but it's wisdom that comes through for them. And I'm simply the messenger passing that on.
Mm-hmm.
And then what tends to happen is I'll get feedback later and say, you were spot on with that information, but I'm hearing it back logically. And so I'm really surprised when I hear it back logically because it's like I'm hearing it for the first time. So I feel like I've gone in a roundabout conversation to answering that question, but yeah, that's touching on all those particular areas.
Well, and I think it's more important that whoever's listening to this podcast is understanding it's not the the big decisions that one makes in their life. It is the little nuances. It's that breadcrumb that you're going, I don't know. Do I want to go right or do I want to go left? Or, like this has happened to me. Like you're just driving, it says turn right. And I'm like, why am I going right? Okay, I follow, right? And then you find out later, like, well, you missed the accident, or, like, oh, you ran into somebody on the street. Oh, let's go for coffee. Great. And you're like, but it's not you. It's the knowing that's coming through you of the guidance, right? And whether you call that God, universe, source, it doesn't matter. It's that inner knowing that you're going, I'm going to turn right because let's go have the adventure. And so this is what I want people to understand with you and a lot of your generation of the millennials is you guys just have this unwavering freedom, right? As a person who's older, I'm like, I want that. How can we get who were grown up in that structure get more of that flow, that freedom, that, I don't know. Am I living here today? Great. If I'm not, okay, I'll move on.
So with that, it actually ties in something that came in to share, and kind of like a metaphor,
Mhm.
but essentially, so if I just use the example of the goal is to have more freedom, right? That's obviously you'll have a vision of what that looks like for you. But then that's like the vision. Just say it's at the top of the stairs. You cannot go from the bottom of the stairs to the top of the stairs because that's too far away.
Mhm.
To get to that space and place, you
Mhm.
start with each step. What is the action steps?
Mhm.
And what I find is that there's a balance of effort and effortless. They work together. It's kind of like, oh, you start putting effort in something and it just becomes really easy.
Mhm.
And then you're going, this is too easy because our mind likes to make things a lot more complex than it is, right? It's very simple, but it's the mind that likes to have control and wants to have things in a particular way.
Yeah.
But when you let that go and you focus on putting effort in those little tasks per day or setting aside time for half an hour on that vision, you'll find that you go into a momentum where you start doing it and then it becomes easier. And so if the goal is to have more freedom,
Mhm.
then it's looking at your life and working out how to get there. And the other interesting thing I want to add in is travel. The reason I love traveling is because it gets me out of my day to day. So if this is me and you're in your day to day, when you go somewhere that's not your day to day anymore, you're able to look at it from a different lens. So another piece of advice is even if you do a day trip or overnight somewhere, just so that you're no longer in your day to day, so that you can reflect what are the things I intend to change.
Mhm.
It's more freedom. What are the things that are holding you back?
Well,
Because it's like a
and I like
chessboard.
that you said that, right? Because even even if it's just a drive out into the country for an hour or two, just change the scenery or go sit in a tree under a tree in a park. Find a different park. If you always go to the one park, go to find a different park. See what that park's all about. And it's changing the outward expression so the inward expression has something new to think about, to move forward. And I like how you brought up travel too, because I just thought it was you guys as Australians. You just are all travelers. But I hear it's not. You know, just like everywhere else, there's the 20% that are always traveling, and then the other ones are at home. Um, yeah, and so it's like, so when I think about your journey through the corporate, through now you're in network marketing and but your soul is calling you, right? And you're saying, I'm having fun right now. I'm traveling, seeing, yeah, right? I don't want to be tied down to anything. And and you have forecasted or put the steps in place to be able to do that. You're not just waking up one day going, okay, where's my map? Boom, gone, right? Like you're kind of putting the steps in. You're saying, like, oh, I'll house sit here and I'll dog watch there, and right. And everything's kind of falling into place because it's your path. It's the
The other
easy
thing,
flow of the path. But if you try to go into corporate and force yourself in that job, you're not going to stay anyways. Even if you get hired, you don't stay.
the interesting thing that you've made me realize is this freedom that I'm having now is actually been, I would say, the last 4 years of preparation that I didn't realize I was preparing for.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is um, creating a defense financially, a defense, and because of the decisions I've made in the last couple of years has actually, and even the last 10 years. So the decisions I've made in my past self that didn't realize that that was such a great decision that I've made is now I'm benefiting from that, so that I've got a platform or a foundation to work from so that I can keep going and keep going further.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all those, if we think about health and wellness,
Mm-hmm.
it's all the little steps you do in your everyday
Mm-hmm.
that your future self will thank you for.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's like if you intend to kick off a bad habit, it's so that if you don't, then you're going to have the consequences in 10 years. You might not feel it now, but in 5, 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
you will. So,
Well,
and the other thing is time. Like, sorry to cut you off. I just wanted to share this
no,
one. I think Jim Rohn says it. The only place you have to live is in your body. So look after it.
yeah. And I've heard from longtime smokers who kick the habit that they actually don't know how to breathe
Mm.
because they're actually only deep breathing while they're inhaling. So when they took the inhale out, they forgot to breathe deeply. And as a
Wow.
society, we all don't breathe properly, right? Like I'd say 80% of people breathe from their collarbone up. They don't even use their lungs. So when you start doing that deep breath, you're really stretching that rib cage out because you've let it cave down, right? And then you think, as you get older and your body's starting to curl, and you're like, why is it curling? Because you weren't breathing your whole life, right? Your rib cage is so closed in, it can't support your spine to be upright anymore. And so that's where, those life decisions that you don't even think are making life decisions because, well, you just made a decision on a Monday, but on a Friday, it has changed your trajectory. And then from Friday to 2 months from now, you're like, but that wasn't a big decision. And that's what I want people to understand from this conversation is that it's not these like gigantic decisions like I'm going to move countries or I'm going to go. And it's like, no, it's the breadcrumbs of everyday life that, like even coming to this podcast, getting a bit of water. You might be thirsty. Don't like it's showing up prepared for whatever is going to be in front of you. And then when I think about like how your life is going and you're having fun in this new company and you're meeting all these people and you're being you, but even being you, you're saying, this company's still missing something. So your brilliance, your inner knowing is saying, but if I just tweak what they're doing, it's going to be a better company. Or I'm going to be a better team lead for my people. And it's understanding the tweak through the process.
The interesting thing, Adele, is I basically stepped into leadership. It was energetically all of a sudden I've stepped into it.
Mm-hmm.
So when people think about change, like we're never prepared for change. You simply step into it.
Mm-hmm.
And even I had some feedback about confidence. Confidence is actually doing the thing that you're scared of doing and doing it anyway. So it's like feel the fear and do it anyway. And you step into it.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no preparation. It's you go ahead and do it.
But your life is the preparation, right? Because this is how I look at it. It's like I've always been a yes person, unless my body says absolutely not, that's not for you. And so people say, oh, can you take this on? I'm like, sure. And then I turn around and I go, why did you say yes? And I have my little freak out because I have I have no idea what I'm doing. And yet I said yes. So somewhere in my body, guidance, whatever, it said, you're ready for this next step. And I think the movie, I think it was Jim Carrey, that like he just had to say yes to everything. It's one of the best things. Just say yes. Figure it out. Right.
Mhm.
And it's just like with you, it's like, do you do you know where you are next year? No. Does anyone? No. We're in the most tumultuous time next to the wars. Well, maybe we're more than the wars. I don't know. Of the world. Right? The world is changing so fast, but we can't worry about that because that's outside of us. We only can worry about what's inside of us.
Well, it comes back to your reality, and it's so important what you feed. So, or what you look at, the glass half full, the glass half empty. It's kind of like in your reality, are you living in lack or are you living in abundance? Because it's one or the other, it cannot be both. So it's
Or,
how you see the world, it's a reflection of your reality, if that makes sense. But then there's another layer where there's things that are happening outside your control.
and it has nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
Right? So I took that half glass half full, half empty and heard through a coach of that's not even there. You serve from the saucer. If you have to start thinking about if do I have enough in my tank in the cup, you can't serve. You're only serving from your overflow of the saucer because then your well never goes dry.
Mm.
Right? And I've been thinking about this a lot lately of as we move into this new world, into the Aquarian age, and if those who don't know the zodiac, like the Aquarius is a lot about the love, companionship, community, support, right? Compassion. And if we choose as individuals to keep that oneness, that judgment, unkind, they're not going to flourish. I don't know what's going to happen to them, but they're not going to flourish because we're in a new time now of compassion and unity and caring. Even though the world looks crazy, I'm not saying we're through it all yet, right? And when you talk about words meaning so much, they're the cornerstone in my book to your success, to great relationships. And it's also the cornerstone to the truth, not individual truth, the truth.
The cool thing is as a collective, we all move in the same direction.
Or not, though.
Not all of us, but those who choose.
Well, and that's this is what I'm understanding from my guidance is we're all going at our own pace and we're all going at our own time, but the ones that are on the forefront will be unseen from the ones who are choosing to stay behind. That doesn't mean if they decide to wake up and come forward, we won't welcome. And I'm not even saying I'm on the forefront. I'm just saying that's how I'm understanding it, that we're going to be going in waves of awakening and moving forward into this new world.
If we talk about say frequency and energy without no words spoken,
Mm-hmm.
say you're in a crowd,
Mm-hmm.
the ones who don't notice you are not meant to notice you.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that see you for you, it's because your soul and their soul understand each other on a level that's, yeah, it's the Aquarian age that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a different frequency. The best way I can explain it. And because of my abilities, I can be sensitive around people because I can feel.
Yep.
Can feel things without words being spoken. I don't need words.
Yep.
And the other
Is
way
it?
I can explain it is it's like, yeah, because it's like I connect into my own Google, right?
Yeah.
I this is how I explain it. I go in my Google, how's that person going? They all right? And then they've obviously realized that I've done a Google search on them, and then they come back and contact me and message me the answer, or they contact me, hey, I was thinking of you, or really it's because we were sending a telepathic message to each other. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a different way of experience. And the ones that resonate with your soul and your tribe understand you on that level. Yeah.
Well, and it's true because like we were saying about like people coming in and out of our lives, right? And when I was younger, I used to go, what's wrong with me? Why do I have friends for 10 years and then they disappear? And and now it's like we've had our journey. We've gone as far as we can go. And that doesn't mean if I don't see him down the street that like, hey, how's it going? Great, awesome. Have a good life. Like, right? But our vibrations have changed. It's not good or bad. It's just it is what it is. And for instance, like I was questioning the whole podcast, the whole everything, and I had run into one of those friends from long ago. And by the time we finished talking, I was angry. And I was like, okay,
Mm.
first of all, I don't get angry very much anymore. And I'm like, what's all that about? You got to keep the podcast going. This is your path. And I was like, thank you. My apologies. Um, and so I just think it's interesting how like even the power we give certain words, right? That it can shift how we look at things. Like for instance, you're in an awesome place in your life, right? Like you got the freedom, you're trying out new things, you got, what does that look like? Right? And then it's really interesting when we were talking about animals and it's just like I I had this vision of you got all these dogs around you and you're just loving it. I'm like, okay, I don't know if you're at a dog park. I don't know. I don't know what you're doing, but it was just like all these dogs, all different sizes, all whatever. And you're just in your absolute joy. Is that your
Yeah.
future? I don't know.
Anim- I don't know. Interesting thing about animals is they know when you're a good vibe.
Yeah.
And a couple of weeks ago now, I was actually on the beach just chilling. And yeah, I had dogs like sitting next to me. And then the owner had to come over and say, to collect their dog. And the other day, I actually was walking and I had a cat, and I was like, I just wonder. So I was like, and this cat that I don't even know decided to come over, say hello, and it was like laying down because, and in animal world, it's like when a dog or a cat lays down, they're submitting to you, but they know that they're safe with you.
Hmm.
And and so that cat was like confirming, yep, you're on the right path, you've got the right vibration, because animals teach us a lot that you cannot necessarily explain it logically or in words.
Oh, guaranteed. Because I've had
Yeah.
a horse, I've worked with horses, I've had like been around dogs and cats and um like even butterflies. Butterflies are amazing, right?
But when,
Because
well, when they come into your life, it means that you're going through a transformation because each one has a meaning behind them. So butterflies mean transformation.
well, and you think about they will fly 5,000 kilometers in their 3-week lifespan.
Wow.
When I learned that at the butterfly farm, I go, what a waste of a life. Like think about what has to happen in the chrysalis for them to become a butterfly. And then they have to grow their wings and get them all ungooey for 3 weeks. And we say life is hard. And yet they are the most beautiful visions. Yeah, like you can look at all animals, even ladybugs. Like I haven't seen ladybugs, and all of a sudden I saw 3 in one day. Like I on my hand, I was like, oh wow. And of course, that's all about luck, right? And it's like, yeah, yeah,
Like,
bring
yeah.
it on, right? And and it just shows up however it needs to show up. And I like that the dog came to you at the beach because they're just when you get the right dog or the right animal, it's just that I call it the heaven sent message that you didn't know you're looking for,
Mm.
right?
I'm going to ask you a question, Adele.
Okay.
Do you do you see numbers?
Do I see numbers?
Yeah. Do you notice in your day to day like number configure like different combinations of numbers or a
Hmm.
particular number that you just that seems to
Absolutely.
just
The
notice all the time?
1111. Yeah,
You're the 1111 track.
I get a lot of 1111s, 555. Um, those are ones I'm noticing lately. As you
Yeah.
asked, do you get numbers? I saw the 8.
Oh, thank you for that because that's my number. I've had 888 follow me around for 12 months. So it was double eight for a while and then it changed to triple eight. And
Oh,
so seeing triple eight was like, you're on the right path. So, for example, say the other day I'm going to go catch up with a friend. On the way there is a triple eight, and then on the way back, triple eight. It's like, you're on the right path.
and we just
And I
went
know
through the Lionsgate portal of
which is
888.
triple eight. Yes. Yeah. And I saw triple eight last night in a symbol. I don't know if you've heard of the pillar code. First time I've heard of it yesterday.
No,
But
no.
the symbol is triple eight. I'll send it to you later. But I was like, fascinating.
Well, and there's
It's
a
a
lot
healing
to
modality.
yeah, there's a lot to be
Hmm.
said about the numbers. Like for instance, if I see the 1111, I go, "Oh, thanks for calling." Right? Because I know an angel's around. I don't have to know who or what, but thanks for calling. All right. The 555 um kind of took me off guard at first because I'm like, that's too many because five's all about change. I'm like, that's too much change. No
Hmm.
thanks. Um and then I looked at it again. I'm like, oh, but it's a 6. Okay. Yeah, that's grounded and earth, like that's heaven and earth coming together. I'm like, okay, I like that one. Right. And um yeah, same with 444, right? Because I was like, oh, stability. Yeah. The triangle, like that one. Right. And it, like there's symbology in everything. And we can run our life by it, or we can just say thank you. Is a message. Thank you. Whether we are intellectually aware of the message Doesn't matter because our heart gets it. And that's where we're supposed to live from.
Mm.
Right?
And then it was like, oh, but because that's your number, you're purposely seeing it, right?
No.
No, because the reason I disagree is like, well, I keep having the number plate appear literally in front of me. There's nowhere else to look. It's there all the time. I started creating an album because I've realized the interesting thing about this is that I started sharing it, and then others would find it in different spots.
And it's not
So
the
I
same
started,
car.
yeah, it's not the same car, it's not the same signpost. And yeah, there's even a 888 real estate. I'm like, okay.
Well,
There's a
but it's
company that's
power,
called
right?
888 Real Estate. Yeah.
It's a powerful number. It's infinity. It's all about
Mm,
abundance and um not wealth so much, but definitely abundance and creativity and um oh, words are escaping me. But yeah, like and it was funny because I mean, I've been watching numbers for a long time and people have talked about the Lionsgate and I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden I went, but it's an 8 year. And then everyone's
mm.
like, yeah. And I'm like, oh Lord, hang on to your bootstraps. We're in for a roller coaster ride. Right. And I remember that day was like I started with a chakra opening with sound bowls and I was just like, oh, this is beautiful. And by the end of the day, I was like, I'm just dropping into bed because like it was just woo, woo, woo. and, but then it's become the joke when I talk to you guys in Australia, like, oh, okay, well, this roller coaster's ending because you guys made it through the other side already.
Well, that's because we're ahead of time, right? Yeah,
Well, I know,
we're in
right?
the
But I'm
future.
like, oh, you guys made it through, so I can get through. Like, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. Um, so in this nomad land that you're in, are you feeling absolutely content? Or are you feeling like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So in March, I went to Japan for a month.
mm-hmm,
In that time, I decided to go to Canada and New York in May. And so when you're traveling, you're in your day to day. So it's like when traveling or going on a holiday, some people say, I need a holiday from my holiday because you're out there exploring and doing
yep,
things. But in that time, I do things where I have a feeling. It's like, okay, do this thing, go to that place, catch that train. And it's just that constant moving. But it always works out. So it's like, I know it's going to work out because some people like probably in my position, they'd be like worried and be like, oh, where are you going to live? What are you going to do? Whereas it's already laid out for me and I I don't worry about it because it's already done. And so it's actually just it's like where I'm meant to be physically in a location, it will show me. I'm at a bit of a crossroads for a particular time at the end of October, and I've decided, then I'm undecided. So it's like, which place do I want to be? Because there's choices.
mm-hmm.
So when you're in an abundance of choices, why would there be stress? The
Well,
stress comes
and
from,
October is an interesting time, especially the end of
mm,
October,
okay,
right? So yeah, like,
from astrology,
huh?
from a- astrology, from an astrology perspective, you're saying?
No, just in like I'm thinking about all the different elections. I'm thinking about
Yeah.
um like it's like you're in the final stages of the calendar year, like
Mm.
it's, Halloween, like whatever, all the gooblies and goblins come out.
Right.
And yeah, and so until you need to make a decision, don't, because
Well, that's why,
the right
yeah.
one will present.
And I haven't made any decisions of where I'm physically going to be next year because it hasn't appeared to me yet. So it's like the answer hasn't come through yet because I'm not meant to know right now. That's just how I do things. I don't the the decision will come in. Uh yeah, it's like, for example, say you have a problem
Hmm.
and you're wanting to solve a problem. It could be as simple as you need a particular tradesman to fix something in your house,
Hmm.
right? So you kind of put the problem on the shelf. And then, so that's what I've done with something in particular. It's like, I need a tradesman to do this task, but I don't know anyone. So I've left it on the shelf and I've moved a reminder for myself a month or whatever in time. And then I literally had a friend help me refer, and all of a sudden it's done. Great. Problem solved. And all I did was just randomly tell this friend about it. And then she referred and connected.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be that we're all at the same time to get that done. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
Delete that task item. It's no longer relevant.
Well, and
It's done.
that's what we were talking about at the beginning, right? Was if we're forcing something to happen or we're forcing ourselves to make that decision, that's not the right decision. It's not the right time. Take a break, walk away. Like, and I meant it even breaks me back to English class in grade 9. And I had a, I had a drill sergeant as an English teacher, like literally. And we'd be like, "What?" And he goes, "I can tell by the test scores who listens to me and who doesn't." And I said, "How?" "Because the ones who think they can study for 2 hours straight without a break every 20 minutes, they bombed the test." I was like, "Really? You must take the break for your brain to absorb more." So it's just like what you're saying. I have a task. Is it important right now? No. It'll get done when it's supposed to get done. Do, 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 do. Everything works out perfect. Thank you. And that's what he's saying about when we're our study habits. If we think we can cram for 2 hours straight, our test scores will be up to 15% lower than if we take the 2 hours and put 5-minute breaks in between every 20 minutes. Yeah.
I've got a question for you, Del. I want just curious. Do you find that, say you have, I don't know, you have 20 tasks for the day that you set out? So, like, for example, I'll say it with me, and then if you can relate to this, and I think others can relate to this. Say you've got 20 tasks for the day, you overcommit yourself of what you can fit in a day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to do all these 20 tasks. It's kind of like you've set an outline of the tasks, but the reality is those 20 are not going to happen. It's going to be about 5 of them that are going to
Mm-hmm.
get done. Do you do that? Is that what we all do? Do we overcommit to how many things we
It's
can
the,
cram in a day?
well, I look at it this way. I don't call it overcommitting. I call it, I take it out of my head, put it on paper or in the computer so I don't have to think about it. So my mind computer isn't going over. Here's the list, here's the list, here's the list, here's the list. No, the list is in the computer. I check off what I get. And that even comes to sleeping. People who have insomnia should write out what their list is because they can't sleep because their computer of their head is going through the list of all the things they have to do to get ready. You're not sleeping. So it's more of the 20 list task list is fine because the 5 that you get done, you're going to move the other 15 up and add 5 more. Right? So you just kind of always keep it around 20, 15, 20 is that's the norm, whatever. But we just tick off what we got ticked off. And if we get 6 or 7, bonus day. If we got 4, we'll try better tomorrow. I don't stress over it because if I stressed over it, I'd be paralyzed.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
there's some days like I have 40 on my list and I might get 1 or 2 done. And I'm like for instance, I was doing something on the computer the other day and I found a podcast I started to put out. And I went, well, that's been sitting there for at least a week because I was ready to put out another one and I haven't put out that one. So I just didn't put out a new one. I just put out that one that I missed. But it was in the computer ready to go. I just didn't put post. Just
but then
quit
it was
post.
meant to be posted when you decided to, when you
Yeah.
saw it.
So that's why I say like, you got your 20 tabs open, you figure out how to close down 2. Perfect. Don't stress over it.
It's like
Because
if somebody was to ask, "Oh, what's your plans for next week?" I don't know. My diary will tell me where I'm meant to be because my past self has set it up for next week for my future self to think about it the day before.
Mhm,
So I'll look at where I need to be, because that keeps me going in terms of what the schedule is. Otherwise, and then when you have the free time in between, that's when you go, okay, and things just flow.
mhm,
Yeah, I find it flows. You have the set amount of things that you can't miss. It's like the hard deadlines,
mhm,
and then you just go into this flow and you connect with those that you're meant to connect with on the day.
mhm. Well, and
Yeah.
even like I I am looking at my September, October, November already, and I'm like, okay, so where am I going to block out time for actual computer work? Because I found over the summer I didn't put that in my
Mhm.
computer backup stuff, the stuff that I need to get done, didn't get done. And that's my own fault. I didn't plan I didn't schedule in that time. And then even like I had a call this week that I have a 24-hour block on my calendar. You can't book in within 24 hours. And I'm like, it's the first thing I said to her, how did you get in my calendar? Well, I booked. And I'm like, but I have a 24-hour block. I had 10 minutes to spare. She says, very happily. And I was like, wow. Right? Like she noticed she had 10 minutes to spare before she couldn't book me. I'm like, obviously you're supposed to talk to me. Right? Because it would have been probably not till mid next week before she would have gotten in.
I I sometimes have done that where I'll speak to someone and say, "So where are you gonna fit me in?"
Yeah.
"Oh, look, there's a cancellation. That's where you're going in. Thank you." So I was like, "Who's canceling today?" And
Yeah.
then and it's like, "Yep, that's happened. Yeah, I'm seeing you today." I always do that. It's really funny.
Well,
I have fun with that.
and it's funny because I haven't experienced the same way with I used to see this energy worker and I'd walk in and she goes, "You are not on my calendar." And I go, "Oh, I have the wrong day?" I'm like, "No, it's in my calendar from your calendar." And she goes, "No, I get that you're in my calendar, but you weren't the person scheduled. You pushed your way in again." I said, "Well, I'm going away. I need to." Right? Or she'd say, um, I'd be waiting in my car to come in, and she'll know exactly when I drove up. She goes, "Oh, you were early today," and I'm like, "Not that early." She goes, "Yeah, 20 minutes early." I'm like, "Oh, sorry."
Do you get the car park ferries? So it's
Yeah.
like, say you need to go somewhere and you're like, it will just somebody will be leaving perfect timing for you to be right there, and then like VIP to the spot that you need to.
Yeah.
Happens to you all the time? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's me too. Yeah.
Well, that's so much so that my sister, when we go Christmas shopping or whatever, she goes, "You drive," and I go, "My parking angels work for you too, even if you're driving."
Yeah. I've done that with
And
friends.
no, I know, but she's intuitive too, and she can get parking angels too. But it's really funny. Or what was or when I'm late because I don't drive very much anymore, and I'm like, "Oh my god, there's so much traffic out! Like what the heck, right?" And
Mhm.
and I'd be like, "Make time stretch. I don't know. I'm late." And I'll get green lights all the way through and the car's just parked.
I and this comes back to like the intuitive compass. It's like I've done it twice this week. So I was talking to someone and I said, I have to go now because I'm getting the feeling you need to leave because you've got to make time. And I'm not even looking at the time.
Mhm.
And it was spot on. And I got
Mhm.
to the next place on time because it was like, you need to go. And another time where I was like, you need to leave early. You need to go now. And the reason I had to go earlier was because there was a car accident on the highway. And because I left when I did, I probably saved myself half an hour of sitting in traffic
Mhm.
because it was going to start being peak hour. So I've missed. Yeah, I've done it so many times where I've just not, yeah. There's another one
Well,
that I had where, yeah, there's so many of them.
well,
The
and
train.
yeah, this is what I call the God moments, right? So I'm driving out to BC and I'm alone, right? This is way before cell phones, anything. Well, not that you got cell service in that area anyways, right? So you're up against a mountain and a lake. And there's this one spot where there's a restaurant that has a little in and out to park. And I went, "What's that on the road?" "Well, I'll just go in the parking lot." Went in the parking lot, came back out around the rock that had fallen down. I keep going. No, nothing else. So I call home to say, like I've made it. I'm safe at my friend's. And I hear, "How did you get through?" I said, "Get through what?" They said, "The highway's been closed." I go, "Why?" "The half the mountain came down
Wow.
where the rock was."
Mhm.
But I went in the parking lot and came back out. God looks
Wow.
after me. I'm looked after. And this is what the like for the listeners who are listening, we might have gone on a tangent, but ultimately we all have the innate gift of our
Yes.
knowing, being on the right path. And if you get that nudge that you're leaving a job or turn right or leave early or 11:11, that is your guidance speaking. And to listen. Or if you get that cute little dog that just has to come say hi to you, let them. And that reminds me, we were in the park the other night, and we are doing a Mary Magdalene ceremony because my friend takes people over to France for this
Mhm.
whole Mary Magdalene thing. And we have the altar set up and we're all sitting around and all the people walking by with it because we're in a dog park, an off leash dog park. Every dog had to come and say hi to every single person in the circle and go straight through the altar. And by the 15th dog, we just went, "It's good." Like, and and these owners are just horrified, right? We're like, "It's good. They want the energy." But it was so perfect. It was so perfect. So as we wrap up, I do want you to mention your golden drops because, it is on your name. It is how you got to where you are today. leaving corporate, this is your stepping stone to whatever brilliance you go to. I'll finish the next half. So tell us about your Goldendrops.
Okay, so the Goldendrops essentially is, it's called biomass curcumin. I've actually got this little model to explain what it looks like. So it's really cool. What makes it special is that it's the technology on the blue, right? And the curcumin is inside the turmeric, the curcumin extracted from the turmeric. And so what this makes it special is that if you get turmeric powder and you were to take turmeric powder, it's like an oil, and our bodies are made of water. So oil and water don't mix well. So they've created this new technology, which is the blue, to make it bioavailable. It makes it soluble in water. And so there's been over, I think it's over 23,000 research papers on the benefits of curcumin on PubMed. So it's well researched to say, hey, curcumin's really good for so many things. Just say inflammation. Curcumin's good for inflammation, which is a lot of things. But the bioavailability in turmeric powder and all other forms of it, it's too low. This has come along and has made it 277 times bioavailable for women and 114 times for men. And I've actually got my Goldendrops. It's soluble in water. So I've just been drinking this casually while we've been chatting. And yeah, it's been an absolute game changer. And the crazy thing is, the reason I even got it was because of my dog. And that's the path. And that was the moment that set me on this path, because I wasn't actually looking at it for myself. I was looking at it for my dog and didn't realize what a journey it's been.
So how did it help your dog?
So my dog was diagnosed with bone cancer. And so bone cancer in dogs is very aggressive, very painful. And I just decided I didn't want to have his leg amputated. And so it was palliative care. And at the time, I was looking at everything natural, as well as the pain meds that his vet just prescribed him. And so when I came across this, I was like, oh yeah, anything for my dog for his pain, and I thought, yeah, curcumin's anti-inflammatory, but I didn't realize that this was a breakthrough technology. And then the friend suggested I give it a go. And I thought, oh, okay, thinking it was a multivitamin back then. I thought, yeah, because I was always about prevention and longevity and superfoods and things like that. So I always give everything a go. And then I would take it every day. And a week later, I play indoor soccer and I scored 3 goals in 5 minutes and I scored 10. And I was like, what is this stuff? Because I hadn't changed anything in my diet to do that. The amount of goals I could score previously was 2, and I'm a defender. So defenders don't actually score goals.
I was gonna say, I don't know much about soccer, but I know that.
Yeah, so in indoor, I always play at the back, and so I protect the goals. And in this game, I went to the forefront and was scoring goals, and I was like, wow. And so then naturally, the next people that I wanted to see what it would do for is my parents. So I was like, mum and dad, they actually listened to me and decided to take it. And then they've had some great health benefits from it too. And from that point, it just kind of just grew. Word of mouth, just explosive. And the cool thing is it arrived in Canada. The product's actually in Canada as of a month and a half ago, the pathway. So it's very new to Canada. And for Australia, it's only been around for a year and a half, a year and a quarter, year and a half, actually. Yeah. So that's the story about it. But there's yeah, it's just amazing. It's been an amazing journey, mind blowing.
Well, and like I said, it's like your stepping stone to the next great adventure. Not that you're leaving it, you're a builder, right? And so building relationships, building companies, building whatever, like you're a builder, and so you're just gonna build
Mhm.
whatever you do. And maybe it's building your dog circle that I saw that I saw at the beginning of the call.
Yeah, yeah.
That was funny. So okay, so now as we wrap up, this time we are wrapping up. Um, what do you want people to know about finding their path, like finding their journey, trusting the journey? What insights do you want to share with the listeners?
So my insight that I would share with everybody that's been with us listening to this call is you'll find that you'll have messages come to you that it's not for anybody else. It could even be like you're going to get a coffee and the song that's playing in the coffee shop and you're like, "Hmm," and that song is a memory for you that means something.
Mm-hmm.
So there's messages, and when you're thinking about change and making a decision, you'll get all these little things happen in your day to day to say, "Yes, that is the correct decision to make," or "This is your path."
Mm-hmm.
And it only speaks to you and nobody else. And this is the other thing, when you're making change or when you change yourself, those around you might not necessarily understand that the change that you're making,
Mm-hmm.
but if it feels right for you, then go forward with that.
Well, and that's what I call the no decisions.
The plan is to have no plan.
Well, yeah, like it's like, oh, I showed up. I need tires. Oh, all right. I guess I'm getting tires, right? Like there's no decision, you know. Wow. I just want to say thank you for coming on the show, Kat. My name is Adele Bernard, Transition Clarity. Once again, this is an awesome, authentic conversation. Wow. Wasn't that an authentic conversation with Kat? And I also want to just kind of um, summarize the conversation of you can be in corporate jobs, you can take on different companies, you can, be the wanderer, but ultimately it comes back to shining your light the best way you can for your path. Follow the breadcrumbs. If you get the message to turn right, turn right. If you're seeing certain numbers throughout your life, they all mean something. If that means Googling some stuff, Google it, figure it out what it means for you. And I'll just say a little bit about transition clarity and the work I do is that's what I help you with. I help you with keeping that path clear, not getting caught up in the things that aren't working, more looking at why it's not working and seeing how you can change it. Because sometimes, say you're supposed to turn right and you ended up turning left. You end up, in the traffic jam and you're like, oh, I should have turned right. And instead of being hard on yourself and, you know, like putting that judgment on yourself, which eventually does get stuck in the body, then illness happens, which we talked about in the call with Kat too, about the illnesses. You just wait, you get out of the traffic jam. If you have to send that text or whatever saying gonna be late, it's okay. All we're trying to say is when you work from the heart space, life flows with grace and ease. If you're feeling like it's a struggle to make that phone call or you can't get that email out, take a break. It's not ready to formulate. The words aren't there to put into the text or to put into the email. This is all part of listening to your heart because you're working from your brain. Your brain has to think, your brain has to come up with words, where your heart lets it flow with grace and ease. So, if you think you'd like to work with me or you're not sure, you can book a one on one call with me by using the QR code or follow me on LinkedIn. And if you like this podcast or any other podcasts, we would love you to subscribe, like, comment, join us on this journey. Every podcast is so different because I want to find the authentic conversation. I want to bring the best people that have come into my path and share them with you. So, once again, Adele Bernard, Transition Clarity. This has been an authentic conversation.